Ladies, listen to me. I want you to hear me loud and clear. When a man hurts you, don't give him the satisfaction of seeing you broken. Don't cry for an audience. Don't beg for his attention. You want to confuse him? Here's how you do it. You smile, you shine, you upgrade. When a man hurts you, your first instinct might be to cry, to scream, to demand answers. That's normal. That's human. But baby, let me tell you something. Normal don't get results. What gets results is strength. What gets results is control. And most of all, what really leaves a man confused is when he expects a reaction and doesn't get one. You see, men are used to seeing emotions spill out when they mess up. He might expect you to send long messages, to argue, to post subliminals on social media, or to blow up his phone. That's what most people do. That's what he's used to. But when you respond with composure, not coldness, but composure, that's when you throw him off his game. You want to confuse him? Don't raise your voice. Raise your standards. A man knows when he's done wrong, trust me. He knows when he crossed the line, when he played you, when he thought he could get away with something. And often, he's bracing himself for the drama. He's preparing for the fight. But when you don't show up for the fight, when you remove yourself from the ring completely, now he's left shadow boxing with guilt and confusion. He starts thinking, wait, she's not calling me? She didn't curse me out? She didn't show up where I hang out to check me? That silence, that calm, that's what eats him alive. Because now, instead of defending himself against your anger, he has to face himself. He has to sit in what he did. And your absence is louder than any words you could have screamed. Ladies, I need you to understand this. Your reaction is your power. And when you give it away emotionally, you hand him control. You give him the script. You give him something to flip on you. Oh, see how she's acting? That's why I did what I did. But when you hold your ground and walk with grace, you give him nothing. No fuel, no fire, just silence. And silence makes a man think. You ever notice how someone will ignore you until you stop trying? That's because your reaction fed their ego. Your attention told them they still mattered. But when you cut that attention off, not out of spite, but out of strength, you take back your power. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying to bottle everything up. Feel what you feel. Cry in your private space. Talk to your trusted people. Write it out in a journal. Do what you got to do to process it. But don't hand him the privilege of seeing you fall apart over him. Because listen, if he was careless with your heart, why should he be responsible for how you heal it? That's your journey now. And it's your choice how you walk it. Some women think if they show how broken they are, the man might come back. He might feel bad. He might apologize. Let me tell you, if a man only comes back because he sees you suffering, that ain't love. That's manipulation. That's guilt. And that never lasts. But when a man sees you smiling, stepping out, glowing up, even after he hurts you, that's when the real confusion kicks in. That's when he starts questioning himself. Was she already moving on? Did I really lose her? Was I never that important? Now he's the one in emotional turmoil. Now he's the one trying to figure you out. And all you did was protect your peace. That's the move. That's the strategy. Not revenge, not reaction. Restraint. See, some of y'all are giving too much energy to people who ain't earned it. You're giving explanation to people who already knew what they were doing. You're explaining your worth to someone who already discounted it. Stop doing that. Start moving in silence. Let your progress speak. Let your absence echo. Let your glow be your response. It's not about pretending you're okay. It's about choosing peace over drama. It's about protecting your dignity over proving your point. And yes, it's hard. Yes, it takes everything in you not to react, but baby, every time you choose calm over chaos, you get stronger. And strength is what confuses a man who thought he broke you. He expected you to come undone, but you showed up dressed in purpose. He thought you'd be calling, but you were calling opportunities instead. He thought you'd fall, but you learned how to fly. So next time someone hurts you, don't rush to react. Take a breath, take a step back, and let your silence speak volume. Because when you stop reacting emotionally and start responding with power, you don't just confuse them, you evolve past them. You know what really throws a man off after he's hurt you? When instead of falling apart, you start leveling up. When you go from crying to glowing, from stuck to unstoppable, from broken to becoming the version of yourself that doesn't need him anymore. That's the real move. That's what shakes the ground he stands on. See, most men, when they hurt you, they expect you to stall. They think you're going to pause your life, sit still in that pain, and wait for them to come back around whenever they feel like it. They're counting on your emotions holding you back. But the moment you decide, nope, I'm not waiting, I'm not shrinking, I'm about to elevate, everything changes. Because now, you're not just healing, you're evolving. You're becoming the woman he never thought you could become without him. And baby, that confuses him more than anything you could ever say. You don't need to get revenge. You don't need to play games. All you got to do is upgrade spiritually, mentally, financially, emotionally. Start looking at your life like it's a project you're building, and he was just a lesson in it, not the foundation. We've got dreams, goals, talents, beauty, and sometimes pain is the push that wakes all that up. Start working on yourself like your future depends on it, because it does. You want to mess his head up? Start going to the gym, not to get him back, but to get yourself back. Walk into that room with a glow he's never seen before. Fix your posture, fix your habits, fix your focus. When he sees you moving different, looking radiant, smiling from a place of real peace, he won't know what hit him. And don't just work on your looks, elevate your mindset, get into books, start a business, take a class, build something of your own. He expected you to be distracted by the heartbreak, but here you are making boss moves. You're planting seeds in yourself now, seeds of value, purpose, and vision. Now he's watching you live a life that no longer includes him, not because you're bitter, but because you're better. That's a whole different type of pain for a man, because he starts realizing that you were never dependent on him, you just loved him. And when he broke that love, you didn't fall, you rose. That's what makes it powerful. A woman who can walk away from pain and pour all that energy into her purpose is unstoppable and confusing, because it wasn't supposed to go like that. Let me tell you something. Elevation doesn't always feel good at first. It's not easy to take that hurt and turn it into hustle. It takes discipline. It takes choosing yourself on days when you miss him. It takes getting up even when the tears are fresh and saying, I'm going to use this to fuel me. But every time you choose your growth over your grief, you rise. And the more you rise, the smaller he looks in the rear view. And don't go posting everything for him to see either. Real growth don't need to be announced. Let him find out through whispers, through conversations he wasn't part of anymore. Let him scroll and stumble across your glow up and realize he no longer has access. And let me say this, because it's important. This ain't about proving something to him. This is about proving something to yourself. That you're capable, that you're enough, that you can build a beautiful life without the one who hurt you. Because your future isn't tied to someone who didn't know how to value you. Every hour you spend crying over a man who couldn't love you right is an hour you could spend building the life that will love you back. So pick yourself up, rebuild, reinvent, redirect. There's nothing more powerful than a woman who took her pain and turned it into purpose. Start surrounding yourself with people who lift you. Get around folks who see the queen in you, even when you forget. Get mentors, get focused, get clear. What do you want out of life? Go after it like it owes you, because you owe it to yourself to live big. The glow up isn't just external, it's internal. It's when you walk into a room and peace walks in with you. It's when your spirit speaks louder than your outfit. It's when your energy says, I've been through it, but I'm still rising. That's when he sees the change. And he won't just be confused, he'll be regretful. But by then, it won't even matter, because you'll have elevated to a place where you no longer desire the man who caused the fall. You'll look back and say, thank you for hurting me. You introduced me to the version of me I never knew existed. And that right there, that's the win. That's the power. That's the revenge you never have to plan, because your elevation speaks for itself. There comes a moment after the pain, after the shock, after the heartbreak, where you find yourself sitting alone, asking, why me? You start replaying every conversation, overthinking every move, blaming yourself, wondering what you did wrong. That question, why me? It can trap you. It can lock you inside your own head and keep you stuck in a cycle of confusion, guilt, and self-doubt. But let me tell you something. The moment you stop asking why it happened to you and start asking what you're supposed to do with it, that's the moment your healing begins. It's not about pretending it didn't hurt. It's not about acting like you're okay. But it is about shifting your energy from pain to purpose. Why me is a passive question. It puts the focus on the hurt, the other person, the injustice. But what's next for me? Now that's a power move. That's a forward-moving question. That's the kind of question that pulls you out of the quicksand and puts you back in the driver's seat of your life. You see, pain is a signal. It's a wake-up call. It's life saying, pay attention, something needs to change. So instead of wasting all your time wondering why someone hurt you, betrayed you, left you, start asking yourself what you're going to do now that they did. Because the truth is, closure doesn't come from them. It comes from you. It comes when you decide to stop waiting for answers and start writing a new chapter. You want to heal? You want to confuse the one who hurt you? Shift your energy. Shift your focus from the past to the future. From why did he do this to what can I build from this? From why wasn't I enough for him to how can I become everything I was meant to be? That's where the real transformation happens. Because let me tell you, some people were never meant to go with you to the next level of your life. If you keep dragging the weight of your wounds into your next season, you'll never rise the way you're supposed to. Shifting your energy means taking your power back. Instead of letting what he did define you, you let it refine you. Instead of letting it break you, you let it build you. You look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm not going to sit here and shrink just because someone didn't see my worth. I'm going to expand. I'm going to glow. I'm going to grow. You start pouring that energy into yourself. You start focusing on your health, your finances, your peace. You start nurturing your dreams. You stop stalking his page and start building your own platform. You stop waiting for the phone to ring and start answering the call on your life. Because, baby, the real shift happens when you realize your value was never dependent on how he treated you. You were already worthy before he saw it. You were already enough before he left. And now that he's gone, now that you cried your last tear and replayed that final message for the last time, you rise. You want to confuse him? Don't try to make him jealous. Make yourself unstoppable. When you shift your energy, you stop reacting and start creating. You stop giving people access to your emotions just because they once had a key. Nah, that key got changed. The lock got upgraded. And now, not everybody gets to walk into your space and disrupt your peace. So, stop asking, why me? The answer to that question won't change anything. Maybe he was broken. Maybe he was selfish. Maybe he was too immature to handle the depth of your love. Maybe he saw your power and got scared. Maybe he never intended to stay. You could sit and analyze all that for the next year and still not have peace. Or you could get up today and ask a new question. What's next for me? What's next for my heart? What's next for my career? What's next for my peace? Well, what's next for my healing? When you start asking that question, your life starts moving again. Your energy gets lighter. Your direction gets clearer. And you stop letting someone else's mistake keep you from your miracle. Don't let the person who couldn't handle your light dim it. Don't let the one who couldn't love you right stop you from becoming someone extraordinary. You've got too much in you to stay in that why me place. You've got books to write, businesses to start, kids to inspire, generations to impact. Love to give and love to receive the right way. But you can't do that if your energy is stuck in the past. You got to shift. You got to shake it off. You got to rise up and say, that chapter hurt, but I'm not closing the book. I'm just turning the page. Let the pain be your pivot. Let it be your push. Let it be the fire that fuels your next move. Because the real victory doesn't come from an apology. It comes from evolution. And baby, when you shift your energy from heartbreak to healing, from fear to focus, from wondering to working, not only do you confuse the man who hurt you, you'll inspire every woman who thought she couldn't rise again. Let me tell you something real. When a man hurts you, he expects to leave a void in your life. He thinks his absence is going to stop your world, that you're going to fall apart, sit in that sadness, and keep looking back, waiting for him to come walking through the door like some kind of hero. He believes he's the center of your story, that without him, there is no next chapter. But here's what really messes him up: when his absence doesn't stop you. When you don't chase him, when you don't call, when you don't beg, when you just keep living, thriving, building, smiling, glowing, that's when he starts scratching his head like, hold up, did she even miss me? See, you want to know how to confuse a man who broke your heart? Make his absence irrelevant. And I don't mean fake it. I don't mean pretending like you're okay when deep down you're a mess. I mean truly, deeply learning how to love your own company so much that the space he left becomes a space you fill with peace, purpose, and progress. Because when you make someone's absence irrelevant, it means you've taken your power back. You've stopped giving them the ability to control your emotions, your energy, your joy. You stop assigning them the role of the main character in a story that was never supposed to revolve around them in the first place. Let's be real, some men don't leave gracefully. Some just disappear. They ghost you. They play with your mind. One minute they're hot, the next they're cold. They leave without explanation, then check your story like they still belong. But baby, the moment you stop seeking closure from the same person who gave you confusion is the moment you win. Closure is overrated. You don't need him to sit you down and tell you why he did what he did. 9 times out of 10, he won't even give you the truth. He'll give you excuses, and even if he told you the truth, it wouldn't undo the pain. It wouldn't heal the wound, because healing doesn't come from answers, it comes from acceptance. Acceptance is when you look at the situation and say, you know what? It happened. It hurt. But I'm still here, I'm still standing, and I still have a life to live. And not just any life, a full, beautiful, meaningful life. One where you wake up and smile without needing a good morning text from him. One where you go to bed in peace, not wondering who he's talking to now. One where you start laughing louder, dreaming bigger, and loving yourself deeper. That's the real flex. And you want to know the truth? The ones who leave and expect to be missed the most are usually the ones who never really added value in the first place. They brought drama. They brought inconsistency. They gave you crumbs and expected you to bake a cake with it. But now you've decided you're not starving for love anymore. You're sitting at a new table, one you built with your own hands. When you make a man's absence irrelevant, it doesn't mean you didn't care. It means you cared enough to let go. It means you respected yourself enough to move forward. It means you understood something powerful. Just because someone walks away doesn't mean your life stops walking. And don't think he doesn't notice. He does. Maybe not right away, but eventually he will. He'll start hearing your name in places he never expected. He'll see your glow on the timeline. He'll catch that glimpse of you in a photo, smiling brighter than ever, and it'll hit him. Not because you wanted it to, not because you planned it, but because your healing became too loud to ignore. That's when it really stings. Not the tears, not the begging, but the indifference. When you no longer react. When you don't care who he's with. When you don't ask what went wrong. When you're not even trying to make him see what he lost. That's when the silence becomes deafening. And look, I know it's hard. I know it takes time to get to that place. But I promise you, every step you take toward yourself is a step away from needing him.